Hey, it's the Jet, Benjamin Trust here, sometimes known as Hardcore Benny, and you're watching Drinking at Moe's.
This is Drinkin at Demos, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Moe's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Moe's, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, know it's a scream.
You know, I've always said here at Drinkinatmos, just because it says drinking at Moe's does not mean it has to be alcoholic. So I'm happy to say Drinking at Moe's is sponsored by Prince Nana Coffee, the, the exact same guy you see every week on Dynamite, on Collision. Yes, he has his own coffee and it's freaking delicious. They don't even roast those beans until you've placed your order. And you might be telling me, hey, Big Mo, I'm more of a tea guy. They got you covered there too. Use the referral link in the description of this video. And let's get you dancing like Prince Nana with Prince Nana Coffee. All right, everybody, welcome Drinking at Moe's. Big Mo here. You know the drill by now. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, because YouTube's algorithm is still a pain in the ass. Where most places can find audio podcasts too. Today, I'm excited to have with me Benjamin Trust. How you doing?
Howdy. I'm looking at your Funko Pops. I guess no one told you I'm not a big fan of Funko Pops.
Oh, well, most of the ones that you can see right here are actually all signed.
That doesn't make it better.
It,
You got
it,
any He-Man action figures? I like He-Man. I see a bunch of Ninja Turtles.
yeah, growing up, it was always pro wrestling and Ninja Turtles for me. He-Man was cool. I don't have any of the He-Man stuff, but
He-Man is cool.
okay, yes, I can agree. I can agree.
All
But
right.
yeah,
On to
like
the interview.
like my I know you don't like Funko Pops, but I got to meet the guy that was the voice behind Michelangelo in the original Ninja Turtle cartoon, and I got him to sign this one. So it for the little kid in me that grew up watching that cartoon, you know,
Okay.
it was a fun thing for me.
And you're married?
Yes,
And a girl was into that?
I mean she tolerates it.
Uh, okay. That
Yeah.
kind of woman.
But the first thing I like to start off with everybody with is what got you started as a fan, and then what got you deciding to make the leap into the business.
Uh, there's two women I hold responsible for this, and they'll probably watch this interview and laugh at me later. So my mom got me started as a fan. She had all girls, and I think she was looking for something to do with her son to bond with, so she
Mm.
took me to a local wrestling show. Um, And then I started watching wrestling on TV because I thought it was the coolest thing ever after that. So my mom is who I blame for making me a fan. So that's the first woman in my life. Second woman that made me jump the guardrail and become a wrestler would be my wife. She's a big fan of wrestling. I was wrestling in college. I got done wrestling and she was like, yeah, I was like, I don't have anything to do. And she was like, you should be a wrestler. So for our 1 year dating anniversary, she got me wrestling lessons.
Okay. I, you know, me with the back injury I have from the Navy, I wasn't going to be able to go that route, but man, that's always nice when you have somebody that's that supportive of you to, you know, because hell, with all the traveling that goes on in especially independent wrestling, when you're wanting to get yourself out there more and more places, gone lots of weekends. So when you got somebody behind you that's that supportive, that's awesome.
Oh, she's super supportive, and she's on the back of my jackets, and I got these parachute pull tabs, on my jackets and on my gear, and some of them say Amanda, some of them are like pin-up pictures of her. So I like to think I take her with me everywhere I go.
That is awesome. I love hearing stuff like that. Now, recently, I've been seeing a lot with pro wrestling epic. Now, I get to learn a lot about new promotions. Well, new to me promotions. You know, getting to talk to people from all over the country, well, all over the world, really. And you know, for you, what's it been like there for people that might not be in that area?
So I would say Pro Wrestling Epic is one of my home promotions. Uh, they are one of my favorites to work for. Their shows are, I would say, unhinged in a family-friendly way. I mean, they're very, sometimes wrestling is a variety show, and uh, PWE is definitely a variety show. You could have these really great in-ring technician matches. You can have these matches where you have like a shaman wizard fight a luchador, like some very sports entertaining matches, and then they should have straight no ring death matches of death is like what they call it, and taco bar death matches and the most unhinged things ever. So
Interesting.
um I would say it's always a good time. A PWE show, what I think makes it different from other shows is it kind of feels like staying up late, when you're not supposed to. You're looking around,
Yeah.
you're like, am I doing something wrong? No, I'm just having fun. Like, it's just great.
Oh man, and that promotions like that are the ones that I particularly enjoy because you can sit somebody down, somebody new, and they could end up finding something they like.
Oh,
Whether
absolutely.
it's the in ring, the technical side of things, whether there's, some outlandish characters, or whether they're like me and enjoy the intense, hardcore style of stuff with, the deathmatch style. You get a little something for everybody. And it's awesome to see that there's another promotion out there like that.
Absolutely.
And you've won a couple of titles there, and like you said, it's been like a home base for you, for lack of a better way to put it. Um, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but recently with the injury, you were holding. It was a title. Was it for PWE or another
All
one
right,
of
all
the
right, let me
promotions?
get everything straight.
Okay,
So
okay,
I'm still currently the
still.
reigning Epic Wrestling Champion.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
To
I
be.
do not vacate that title or forfeit it
Mm,
until I do not show up for my match Saturday.
ah,
I
yes.
did have an ACL tear. I do have an ACL tear. I just had surgery on it last Thursday. Um, so all I can say is buy a ticket, watch on IWTV because Pro Wrestling Epic is on IWTV,
Mm-hmm.
and see what happens when I take my crutches and go out to the ring and confront the last person to ever beat me in a wrestling match, Cash Borden.
Ah, that is going to be interesting to see because, yes, I do myself have IWTV. And, it was funny because right when we were getting started, there was an alert that came over on my screen that getting tagged in another post from a promotion that actually got me to get my IWTV subscription back in H2O Wrestling out of New Jersey, Matt Tremont's promotion.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll have to check that out when we're done. So I will definitely be checking out uh, the PWE show there on, you said Saturday, right? As
Yep.
of recording.
It's recording Saturday. I don't know when it'll be on IWTV. Probably
Okay.
shortly after. Usually within a week. I think they
I
get it on IWTV.
was gonna say sometimes they'll do the live stream, but then the whole show will be together. Usually, it seems like within a week or so.
Hmm.
So that'll be that'll be interesting to see because like you said, you're not you haven't vacated yet, and you have you've seen it out there that you know people talk about they never got beat for a belt. So you can definitely lay claim to that, and if you know people will have to watch the show, but you could see if you do have to give up the belt, and I say if as of recording,
Thank you.
because if that happens, you can definitely say, hey, I never got beat for the belt, so technically it's still mine.
I'll never get beat for the belt. Get it right. But yeah,
Yes, I need to get that right. You're never getting beat for that.
thank you.
Much like my friend that made the big one for me calls it the Drinkin Championship, says that, yeah, he calls me the forever champ. So I'm like, all right, I'll go with it. I'll run with it like Athena with the Ring of Honor Women's World title.
Yeah, it was 6 years now.
Yeah, man. So with going to the show this Saturday, and with the injury, it's gonna take a while. ACL injuries take a while to heal up from. Are you gonna be like I've seen out there, still heading out to different shows if they'll have you, just you know, be there?
That's a good question. I haven't decided because I've had a lot of great promotions tell me that they'd still like to hear me talk on the mic, maybe manage a couple wrestlers, uh, things like that. And I'm weighing my options. You know, I'm gonna put over some promotions here.
Okay.
GLCW said they'd love to have me. That's Great Lakes Championship
Mm,
Wrestling. You can find them at Blizzard Brawl on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think it's just GLCW or Blizzard Brawl. 01 USA
mm,
in Montoon. They're 01 like 2006 on Instagram and Twitter. They've also said they'd love to have me. Um, I don't know. I don't know what my plan is. I don't really know what my plan is for Saturday. It's very, and this is me personally. It's very hard for me to be around wrestling that I usually participate in and not
mm,
participate. And then I also think I know it's going to be a while before you see me throw a punch in a wrestling ring. And part of me thinks if I don't go away, they won't miss me when I come back. You know what I mean? So you sometimes I think you have to go away to be missed. I don't know. I haven't weighed all my options. It's all happened real fast. I got injured, got surgery. Now I'm here talking to Mo in his basement and thinking about it all. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Part of me
okay.
wants to just do the gal thing and stay at home for a while and be a family man. Uh, and then come back and crack some skulls like the Terminator I am. But who knows? I haven't made any 100% decisions yet.
Okay. Because I can understand, when you're so used to being out there in front of the crowds to be injured and not be able to participate in the way that you're used to can just be like, I'll just be over here. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Now, with your time off, you know, obviously, time with family and everything, do you keep up with a lot of the national TV product that's out there? Because I mean, there's so much out there to choose from, but you might be surprised. There's a lot of people that I've talked to that in their free time they choose to watch things other than wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. Wrestling is something I watch with my wife. So if there's, and we keep up with it. Like we'll watch YouTube videos, breakdowns about what happened and what's going on. We usually try to catch the big events like pay-per-views. We watch Raw on Netflix. So we'll probably watch, if I watch any wrestling, it'll probably be with her. We might watch some PWE shows on IWTV as well. You know, you never know. Or other shows I might miss. She's a big Joshi wrestling fan, so sometimes we watch
Mm.
Stardom matches and things like that. But
Oh yeah, they've got a lot of good stuff going, and IWTV so much to choose from there. Like I've been able to, with John Wayne Murdoch, had him on twice. He's
John Wayne Murdoch.
he's been all over there. I mentioned H2O. They've been very good to me. So a lot of promotions throughout IWTV been very good to me. I'm very thankful and shit, wouldn't mind if I ended up. I think IWTV is one of the streaming services that footage from the podcast has not been on. IWTV is one of the few. So one of these days,
One of these.
one of these days we'll make
I
it
got
happen.
my fingers crossed for you, bud.
Oh yeah. Now going into the national product right now, we're coming up on personally my favorite event of the year, the Royal Rumble. Like,
Yes, it's the
I
best.
know.
It's the best wrestling event,
Oh God,
honestly.
yeah. Like I remember growing up and going to the video rental places. Words are hard, but going to the wrestling section and seeing if they had any, Royal Rumble and getting those. Now there's lots of memories that come up from there. What are some that you remember from? Oh God, there's so many to choose from.
Oh, okay. I can answer this question. Uh, uh, I have a very, and it's not even the best Rumble ever, but my favorite moment in any Royal Rumble match, and I think it leads to uh, how good their WrestleMania matches were. But I think it's Royal Rumble 2007. It's the one Undertaker won, which I think was
Mm.
2007. Might have been 2006. But there's the final two are Shawn Michaels and Undertaker.
Yeah.
And they're dead in the ring. And Undertaker sets up, and Shawn Michaels does a kick up. And I remember thinking that was the coolest moment in professional wrestling ever at that point that I'd ever seen.
Oh yeah. No, that was definitely a good one. I know growing up, dating myself here, but some of the early ones I remember seeing, some me being a bit of a goofball myself, some moments that just got me laughing, like Jake the Snake uh running Andre out of the ring and
Ring with the snake.
with the snake.
Yeah.
And oh god, freaking Santino with the quickest elimination ever. Or is
And he
it?
almost won the year before. But see, I feel like all those other moments get talked about, and no one talks about how great that was with the sit up and the kick up. Uh,
That
and
at
it doesn't
basically the
get
same time, yeah.
talked about enough, you know.
It,
But so I'm here to put it over, I guess.
oh yeah, we'll put that one over. Now with my show, I got two categories here. First one, a bit of a name game where I name off some people, you give me quick thoughts on them, and each of these people, with a lot of the matches you've been being, Illinois, Great Lakes area, each of these people seemed to be from Illinois.
Yeah.
First one, okay, if I didn't put this guy in here, I think people would wonder what the fuck is wrong with me talking about Illinois and pro wrestling and not mentioning this guy, CM Punk.
He is definitely the most famous pro wrestler from Illinois.
That would be true. He has been, somewhat polarizing for a lot of people, but you can't deny when people, hear his music and they see that he's going to be there, that gets people's attention.
Yeah, he also managed to rally a whole city behind him, like no other professional wrestler has done. Like though the city will pop when yeah, the hometown boy makes his entrance, but not like CM Punk in Chicago. You know, no other wrestler I think has really managed to represent a single uh city like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely can say that. Although, for me, one of my personal favorites growing up, you know, you learn growing up, some of the, excuse me, some of the wrestlers where they say they're from, and you learn that, oh, they're not actually from there, like the Road Warriors. You know, it was like, oh, they're actually from Minnesota, and I'm like, oh, well, that just blew my mind when I first
Yeah,
heard
they're not
about
from
that.
parts unknown.
Yeah, it was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Now I haven't got to meet this guy yet, but good lord, the turn that he's been having lately in AEW, Ricochet.
Yes. I was actually, you can look this up on Wikipedia. Ricochet was born in a town called Alton, Illinois, and that's where I was born too, in the same hospital. So, that
Oh,
hospital's just cranking out great wrestlers.
oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that that was where
Google
it
it,
was.
dweebs, if you're watching. Look it up.
Yeah, you look it up. I know that's what I did when I was putting together this list. I literally Googled pro wrestlers from Illinois, and then that popped up, and I'm like, okay, I got to add him in there. All right, next up, I mentioned me being a bit of a goofball. This guy, he can go, but he can also bring some funny moments too. Juice Robinson.
The juice is loose. Uh, so part of my wife being a wrestling fan is she loves all like uh the ins and outs of wrestling, like Total Divas and kind of stuff.
Mm,
Um, so one of the things I know about Juice is isn't he dating Timeless Tony Storm? Or
yep,
yeah. So that's
that was interesting when I heard about that.
yeah, it's like I didn't see that coming, but let's see Juice and I think he's good.
Oh yeah, and then
What part of Illinois is he from?
I am trying to remember. I My dumb ass didn't put it in my fucking
Well,
notes.
him and Tony Storm, she's from Australia. The country parts of Illinois probably match up with the Cowboys from Australia,
I can see
Great
that.
kangaroos for deer. Yeah, it's the same.
All right, last but not least for the name game part here, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
He's yeah. I didn't think he was from Illinois.
I didn't either, but when I looked it up, it was like, oh, well, yeah, I
Hmm.
guess it was.
Hmm. What about Missouri? Do you got a list of good wrestlers from Missouri?
Oh, Missouri. Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's the one everyone goes to. Love me some Randy Orton.
Yeah, I used to have somewhat of an issue with him, and it wasn't due to the in ring product, but me being a Navy veteran and then hearing how he got himself basically kicked out of the Marines, I'm like, dude, what the hell? I could have told you a freaking better way to get out of it than that.
Yeah. I chalk that up to we all probably do dumb things when we're 17. You know what I mean?
Oh
Now, if you'd
yeah.
done that at 25 and be like, that guy's an idiot, but how old was he?
Mm,
17, 18, 19? You know.
yeah, I'm forgetting how old he was, but yeah, you know, I like the way you think about that. You know, we all at one point or in our lives, especially growing up, it's teenage years. A lot of us do some pretty stupid things at one point or another.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I'm
mean,
sure a lot of us wish we could just cut 18 years out of our life because it's so, as the kids would say, cringe.
yeah, yeah,
Now, if you're still doing dumb stuff in your middle 20s, late 20s, into your 30s, yeah, you're probably just an idiot. Probably didn't learn. You're supposed to learn from all the dumb stuff you do when you're young.
yeah. Or what's the saying there? You can't be old and
The
wise
dumb.
without being young and stupid.
Yeah, there you go.
All
All right, what's
right.
the next question?
All right. So I got some random questions here. Some wrestling related, some not, some having nothing to do with anything we talked about so far.
All right, pause. Let me just forewarn you. I have a tendency, and people like to joke about this, that whenever I do interviews, podcasts, someone will ask me a question, and I might just say whatever I want, whether it's
Okay.
related to the question or not.
Hey,
I'm just warning you.
no, I'm fine with that. I love, especially in the this random part here. I love little stuff like that.
All right, so fire away. Fire away. What's your first question?
All right. First one here. Craziest in match moment for you.
Oh man. Crazy. Man, I've had a lot of crazy moments. This is a hard one. I can tell crazy bad, crazy funny, crazy good. Uh,
No, why not go a couple of them? We'll go crazy funny and crazy, you know what, crazy good. Crazy funny and crazy good.
crazy funny. Uh, this isn't even during a match. I was making my entrance. There's no video of this, and usually there's video at 0-1 shows, but I was at a 0-1 USA show. I always have a toothpick in my mouth. And I like to flick it at my opponent. And as I was coming out, I got my aviators, my toothpick, my bomber's jacket. I look awesome because I am awesome. And this little kid, it wasn't little, maybe 12, 13-year-old kid. It was sitting there with their mom. And you could tell they were a wrestling fan because they had like an old school WWF wrestling shirt on. And she's like, that toothpick's Razor Ramon's thing. And I'm like, Razor Ramon. I just said it off the cuff. I just looked at this kid in the eye. I was like, Razor Ramon's dead. He's not using it. And the mom and the kid and about five other people sitting next to them all gasped and like laughed. And it was so hard for me not to laugh at my own joke because I was like, Shawn Michaels had a super kick, and 900 wrestlers, you know,
Yeah.
throw super kicks every day. And it's not like every time a super kick's thrown, someone in the audience goes, that's Shawn Michaels thing, but I come out with a toothpick, and I've had it about 100 times. People are like, that's Razor Ramon thing. I think I was just fed up with them saying it's Razor Ramon thing because like wrestling's all about homages and tributes and stealing and making it your own and better. And if Jake the Snake didn't invent a DDT, we wouldn't have crazy flippy tornado DDTs and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
you
And,
know,
and wasn't it, speaking of that in particular, wasn't it Jake the Snake that basically admitted that the DDT was invented by kind of a mistake, anyways?
yeah. So you know. I don't know. That's probably one of my favorite funny. I wish because I would have made a great like TikTok or Instagram reel. I wish I would have had because I have reels from me making my entrance when I'm tearing up Pokemon cards and stomping on Funko Pops and throwing squishmallows. And I just wish I had that clip of me saying that to that kid. Um, it's just, it's just I don't know. It just wasn't there. I watched the video and it has me coming out and then it pans around and comes back, and I'm walking away. You could tell I just said it, but it didn't get that
Mm,
moment on video, and I was heartbroken.
oh God, probably about as heartbroken as I was when I went to an AEW Collision taping one time, and uh, Tony Storm was in a match, and there was like this pause. The crowd was quiet for a minute, and they were in the corner, and I just yelled out, "Slap her tits off!" Because earlier that week she made the comment about Mariah May slapping the tits off her opponent. And well, I cracked Luther. Like he just looked like, what the? Hmm? So I went to watch it back on TV. And god damn it, it happened during one of the fucking picture in picture moments.
Ah,
But I saw his, like, I could see his reaction. So I was like, that was it. I'm like, motherfucker.
no.
Yeah. But,
Tread.
no,
All
yeah.
right, next question.
Now, we mentioned crazy good.
Oh, I don't know. I'm still riding the high of that Razor Ramon comment. Next question.
We'll go on to the next one. So we are getting close to Super Bowl, one of the biggest eating days of the year. Everybody has a favorite thing they like to have during the Super Bowl. What is a favorite Super Bowl snack for you?
Okay. So I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan. So talking about the Super Bowl is like heartbreaking for me. But I have to root for the Chiefs because I'm a Missouri boy, you know.
Mm,
So when my team's out, I just root for the Chiefs. So we're gonna do a three-peat this year. Uh, I usually eat super healthy, and the only time I have this rule that the only time I break my diet is when I can get Whataburger because
mm.
Whataburger is delicious.
Oh yeah, totally.
Uh, and when I'm on a date with my wife
Mm,
because uh, I don't want to be thinking about my diet and wrestling and bodybuilding while I'm on a date with my wife. And then that's like kind of my way of letting her know that, like, hey, look, wrestling, looking good for wrestling and bodybuilding and all this is important to me, but you're still more important because, if I'm like ordering a chicken Caesar salad while we're out for dinner, it kind of makes her feel like I'm more concerned with. This is
mm,
not something we've talked about. This is just something I've decided, but it makes her feel like I'm more concerned with uh how I'm gonna look for my next wrestling match than
mm.
enjoying the actual date. So that's my rules. Whataburger and when I can go on a date with my wife.
Oh yeah, no, you got to have those moments. Hell, with as health conscious as like a guy like The Rock is, he still has his cheat days, and some of those are like I've seen videos of those. Those freaking epic. The amount of food that he has there, I'm like,
Yeah.
holy crap! They need a fucking wheelchair to get me out of a fucking place like that if I ate that damn much.
All right, what's the next question? I think I answered the question, or I just talked about whatever I wanted to talk about. Either
Mm,
or, I'm ready for the next one.
no, all right. So you mentioned not liking Funko Pops, but you do like He-Man. Hobbies, because I have my hobbies behind me here. Hobby that you have outside of wrestling, if any, because I know wrestling can take up a lot of time.
So I like bodybuilding. Uh, I like getting better at wrestling. Uh, Spending time with my wife, I would consider a hobby. I I play a lot with my son. Me and him do cool stuff all the time. Things that I'm fans of, definitely He-Man. I am a two-time MVP of my men's under 40 indoor sand volleyball league. Uh,
Ooh,
so, got a big trophy for that. Will
nice.
probably show up in a reel or TikTok or something eventually. Uh, but yeah, my hobbies are just I shoot guns.
Mm,
I play I don't really play any video games. I shoot guns. I camp. I like. camping and hunting. I like working on cars, that
Mm.
kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, all of those can be considered hobbies. I own a couple guns myself. I haven't been out to the range lately, but I mean, I my son was just born Christmas Eve, so I mean, I kind of had a little bit of an excuse.
Yeah.
But
Ooh, I like cooking steaks.
oh yeah,
Steak.
I do
And
enjoy that. Oh,
chili too. My wife makes mean chili. So I'm into like chili cook-offs or
oh yeah, I
steaks or that kind of stuff.
all amazing. I do enjoy. I got a few things for putting together steaks. I do enjoy a good chili cook up. God damn it! Now I'm making myself fucking hungry. All right. Now, with the name of a show like I have, I feel like I kind of have to have this question in here. Favorite drink, whether alcoholic or otherwise.
Oh, I just want to talk about chili for a second.
Okay, let's do that.
So I was in a bar, Circle B in Wisconsin, for a GLCW show, and they had this crock pot at the bar, and I went up there to get like a Diet Coke after my match because I like Diet Coke. We talk about favorite drinks. Uh, a Diet Pepsi actually. I just call everything Coke. Anyhow, I asked the bartender what was up with that, crock pot. It was just like a random kitchen crock pot on this bar. And I was like, oh, that's like Wisconsin chili. Uh, and I was like, like, is that for you guys or is that for sale? And he's like, oh, it's for the people at the bar. And they gave me this bowl of Wisconsin chili, and he put a bunch of cheese on it. Like I watched him put the Wisconsin cheese on it. There's like three or four different types of cheese. Let me tell you, that was one of the best bowls of chili I've ever had. Uh, and I have no idea how to get it again. I think about that chili sometimes.
No idea how to replicate that. It was just that
Yeah.
damn amazing.
So I'll go through my categories of drinks. Energy drinks, I like the pink strawberry C4s
Oh,
and white Monster Energies. Those are the best too. Uh, I drink a lot of diet soda, uh, water. Um, as far as alcohol, I like PBR or Guinness, which I know are two like opposite ends of the
completely. Yeah.
spectrum. I think it depends on the time of year. If it's summertime, I'll drink a PBR. If it's wintertime, I drink a Guinness, that kind of thing.
Mm,
It's hard
I
to
do.
drink Guinness in the summer.
Yeah, that's not so much of a summer drink. I will admit. I am a bit of a Dr. Pepper fiend myself. I got told I needed to switch to the diet stuff, but it's still good.
Mhm.
I'm more of a beer guy myself. I do enjoy, oh God, Coors Banquet and freaking Kona Big Wave are two of my favorites. But
Of
you
course,
know,
Banquet's good. Have you ever had Yingling?
yes, it is.
Yeah, I discovered Yingling a few years back, and I was like, man, this is good stuff. This should be everywhere.
Though that and oh God, what's the speaking of Wisconsin, the Spotted Cow?
Hmm.
That's a good one. I think they only have it up in Wisconsin. But I'm bummed that the closest they sell I've been able to find this beer at is like 2-3 hours away from me. Stone Cold's Broken Skull American Lager.
I'm sure you can order that or something, right?
Probably, but
What's up with
I,
wrestlers and having their own beer? It's like you got Stone Cold. Stone Cold should have his own beer, but you got like Hulk Hogan with Real American Lager. It's like, it just feels like a money grab.
yeah, his one I've not really had any desire. You know, hell, I even hear Chavo Guerrero has his own.
Man, I'd probably drink Chavo's beer. There's nothing about Hulk Hogan makes me think beer. Like
Yeah,
Stone Cold, you think beer, right?
yeah. You'd think that Stone Cold, with the persona that he's had, he would know how to put his
Beer.
name behind a damn good beer. And
Yeah.
from that one in particular, he knows how to do it. And I've heard good things about Chavo's one, although it was funny because I only recently found out he even had one.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that because I did not know that.
Yeah, I think I was literally watching um, Chris Van Vliet's interview with one of Eddie Guerrero's daughters, and she mentioned it, and I'm like, why am I just learning about this?
Hmm.
So yeah,
A
all right.
lot of times.
No, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to try to get my hands on that. But last but not least, here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
Oh, don't. No, I'm joking. Get in as a wrestler or get in as a fan?
um, you know what? I asked as getting in as a wrestler, but we can kind of fit in as a fan as well, I guess.
I'll do both.
Yeah,
So
we'll do both.
what I will say is I like wrestling as a variety show. Not everyone has to be a bodybuilder. I tell people that all the time. Just because I look like I do doesn't mean you have to be in shape or have a six pack. You do have to be athletic, though. Um, I think there's not enough athletic wrestlers. Uh, or some of the guys they get a little athleticism while they're learning how to roll and bump and feed and stuff like that, and then they when they're out on the indies they just you know get chubby and fat and then they sandbag or they get gassed or they get blown up. Is you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but you have to be athletic.
Yeah.
Look at
Not
Malcolm
everybody
Black.
can be. Not everybody can be. Athletic big man like a Bam Bam Bigelow or a Vader. Those guys with the power and being able to move around like they did. Not everybody can, be that size and move like that.
Yeah, you don't have to be, but you have to be somewhat athletic, as I
Yeah.
guess. Athleticism is the most important part, even if you're going to be like a sports entertainer. Um, Still being able to squat and jump and dip and dodge and duck and having some basic. Do what I'm saying is you don't have to bodybuild like me, but you should be, going for runs every day or you know practicing martial arts or something because this is what Malachi Black does. I'm just giving examples. Doing some CrossFit like Seth Rollins, doing something to stay in shape outside of wrestling 3 times a week.
Yeah. No, athleticism is definitely important. And, I think as a fan, I think it's important that, not everybody is going to like the same thing.
No, I
Folks,
thought that was a great question if you were asking as a fan because I think wrestling can feel overwhelming. Like, oh man, I gotta watch all these indies and I gotta watch 3 hours of Raw and AEW and SmackDown and Collision and Dynamite and isn't there 3 shows? Doesn't AEW have 3 shows? And
I think they
NXT
used to. I think they're back down to two.
and I gotta go back and watch uh ECW and it just can be overwhelming. I'm like treat it like any other sport. Treat it like football. You don't have to, no one goes back and binge watches uh, you know, f football from the 90s.
Yeah.
They just watch the new season as it comes out. So just jump in and you don't even have to watch. Wrestling will tell you what you need to know. If
Yeah.
you miss a show, like if you miss Monday Night Raw 2 weeks in a row, you can watch on the third week and they'll tell you. They'll play video packages and be like, here's what you missed. Here's what's going on. Sami Zayn did this. Kevin Owens did that. Cody did this. Bam, bam, bam. And then you can get right into the show. So
Oh yeah.
jump in. Don't feel bad if you miss an episode or two. No one's holding you accountable. I feel like a lot of fans feel like they're holding themselves. They hold themselves accountable in this weird way
Yeah.
when you are ready to watch wrestling, watch it because I feel like it is a great art form and it is there's something I've said this in podcasts before. There's something about wrestling that reminds me it's the reason why we still have wrestling even though the UFC is around. people like watching car accidents in movies and
Mhm.
explosions and war in movies, but if you show them it in real life, it like puts us off and makes us feel funny. So we like watching simulated fights.
Yeah.
So there's something about our brain that appeals to like the angels of our better nature that makes us want to watch two guys fight over whatever reason. But if, if it's too violent and if I show you a video of bum fights on the street, it makes you uncomfortable. So that's why we still exist, even though there's wrestling. So there's something that appeals to your lizard brain from watching pro wrestling, and it will always appeal to your lizard brain because that's just how humans are wired.
Oh yeah. And it can be, when it's done right, yeah, you can miss a couple weeks and you can get filled right in. And then I think for me though, it's also finding what you like and realizing that other people might not like the same thing, but it's like, the buffet thing, or I hear the analogy to ice cream a lot, where it's like there's the different genres of wrestling, or like the different flavors of ice cream. Everybody.
Wrestling, I like to say wrestling is a circus. If you go to the circus because you like to see the elephants do tricks or you like to see the trapeze
Mm,
artists, sometimes you have to sit through the clowns. Sometimes you have to sit through the strongman to see that stuff. But there is going to be something on a wrestling show that appeals to you. Just like
oh
there
yeah.
can be something at the circus whether it's the lion tamer, the trapeze, the juggler, there's something on a wrestling show that you're gonna like.
Oh yeah.
When
Definitely.
wrestling's done right, at least.
Oh yeah. When it's done right, and you have those places that have that little bit of something for everybody. Yep. Perfect. And it's like, it can be an escape for a lot of people, because I know, I've had tough moments where, I go to watch wrestling, and it's like, for that little bit of time that I'm watching that show,
You're not thinking about life.
you're
And
not thinking about any of that.
I'll go back to why you should watch independent wrestling. Why like IWTV is so good is if you find a style you like, because there's definitely, and that's why I think the indies are still a thing. So say you like, I'm gonna use deathmatch wrestling. Say you like deathmatch wrestling, you see a hardcore match on WWE, and you're like, oh man, that was awesome. I want to watch more of that. There's indie companies that's all they do is death matches and hardcore matches. Just like there's some indie companies you can watch where every match is just like drop down, leapfrog, shoulder tackle, flip, dip,
Mm,
dive, duck, dive, dive. Or there's like
yeah.
you could watch a lucha. You could Pentagon is
Mm,
I just have a nephew that just saw Pentagon for the first time, and he's like, "Oh my God, Pentagon's awesome." I was like, "Yeah, man, you should watch some of these lucha shows because there are 100 Pentagons on them." And he goes to watch a CMLL or Galley
yeah.
Lucha Libre or something, and you get to see so what I'm saying is, I think that's part of the reason why we still have indies is because they can specialize, and you as a fan, when you find the thing you like about pro wrestling, can cater your own
Mhm.
taste to whatever
Oh,
show you like the most.
oh yeah. Then IWTV and a lot of the other streaming platforms out there for wrestling. There's all of that out there.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Now, last but not least here. So, where can people find you social media wise? So, if they don't have their eyes on you, they can get them there, so they can be sure to keep an eye on your recovery. So, when you're back to full strength, they can make sure they're watching.
So Facebook, Benjamin Trust, Instagram, Benjamin underscore Trust, and Twitter or X or Z or whatever they're gonna call it in a few months. Uh, the Jet Ben Trust.
All right. We'll get all of that in the description. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing you have a smooth recovery from this ACL injury, and getting back out there better than ever.
Absolutely.
Thing with this fucking button again.